Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of the Etsy Conversations podcast. I'm your host, Ijama. If you would like to support the podcast, please go to convome.com/support. There, you'll be able to buy me a coffee or two or more. Or for additional perks, you can become a monthly supporter. Again, that's convome.com/support. And I thank you in advance. My guest this week is Sasha, and she runs the Etsy shop Your Frugal Friend. Sasha is a top 1% Etsy seller, so I'm really excited to pick her brain and learn what she's done in order to be able to accomplish becoming a top 1% Etsy seller. She's also a coach. She offers one-on-one Etsy coaching services, and I've told her I'm going to sign up. So I want you to keep me accountable if you're listening to this. And if you're considering Etsy coaching, you can ask me how my session went. Sasha also is a course creator, and we will be talking about the course that she has created. Sasha, thank you so much for being my guest, and welcome to the podcast.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, I am excited to have you on too, because I think you are a wealth of information, and I think there's so much that we can learn from you. But before we jump into all that, can you tell us how you would describe yourself? Do you consider yourself to be a maker, an artist, a crafter, or something else when it comes to what you do on Etsy?
Okay, well, on Etsy, what I do is I create all of my products from scratch. I'm in the digital product space. And so that can be a spreadsheet, a printable, a digital planner, anything that you can sell as a digital download. And I do everything from scratch. I am not a graphic designer. I actually come from the world of accounting. I have a master's degree in accounting, and I am a certified management accountant with over 15 years of experience as an accountant. I left corporate America 2 years ago to become a full-time entrepreneur in the digital product space. And so yeah, I do this full time. I think I overall consider myself a businesswoman and entrepreneur more than anything else. I mean, I can quilt, I can craft, I can do everything.
Yeah.
But what it comes down to is I like to make stuff that I enjoy making. I like to make stuff that's in demand based on, like keyword research and stuff like that and market research.
Yeah.
And I just have a lot of fun with it. So I would just really define myself as a entrepreneur on Etsy.
I like that. So now I wonder, most people, when they think about Etsy, they think handmade. Somebody is creating something, I guess something tangible. They're knitting something, they're sewing something the traditional sense of Etsy back in the day. How did you know that, or did you know that you would be able to sell what you make, the products you make, which I know are personal finance tools and business forms and spreadsheets, things that I think someone who isn't very familiar with what Etsy is today would might think they would find on Etsy. How did you know that this would be a marketplace that you could thrive on?
So what I did is how I stumbled upon this world was I was actually looking on Pinterest. I really love Pinterest, and I was
Mhm.
looking for rotating meal plan ideas. That's what I typed into the Pinterest search bar.
Huh.
And so what I found was I would see a pin and it was like 4 weeks of rotating meal plan ideas with grocery lists. And I clicked on the pin and it took me to an Etsy shop where they were selling done for you rotating meal plan ideas for a family of four. And it had the grocery list and all that stuff. And yeah, I was like, oh my God, I can do this. And I was really excited to make it because, if you think about it, it's just a written product. It's a grocery list, stuff like that.
Yeah.
People reverse engineer what they want to buy based on how much they want to spend.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, it's just, it was something that I stumbled across accidentally.
Okay. So, what were your first products when you first started selling on Etsy, and what do you sell now?
So the first products I sold were products in the budgeting and finance niche because as an accountant, I had created, you know, spreadsheets for myself, like zero-based budget spreadsheets, savings trackers, debt trackers, just stuff like that. Just, based on being an accountant, it's like I enjoy it,
Mm-hmm.
So I personally keep a budget every month. I personally save up for goals and stuff like that. And I also did habit trackers and stuff like that because when I was in grad school and even before that, I worked full time while I was in college. So I worked and went to school for 7 years and it was grind. And so when you're grinding and hustling just to get to the goal of finishing school while working 40 to 50 hours a week, you have a habit tracker to keep you on track.
Mm-hmm.
I was tracking my classes each semester. I was tracking, I ran. I used to run all the time before I had kids. I ran all the time. But and so I was just like, I like to track the books I read. I mean, I literally as an accountant, you're a planner, you're very formulaic in your own mind. And so I had all these products that I had created for myself and I'm like, I should just sell them. And so those are the products that I first sold on Etsy. And and I listed them in August of 2019 was when I first opened my shop. And I noticed that I was able to sell them easily because when you're creating a product that solves a problem, like I don't know how to budget, you have to be very specific about the audience that you're selling to in this niche. So in like the budgeting and finance niche, so there's different levels. There's the people who are trying to reach financial independence who already know the basics of budgeting, and there's the people who are totally clueless. And my audience was the people who are totally clueless because I myself was once clueless. I knew everything about that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I knew how to solve the problem with my product. And so I was easily able to sell these products and then just it started to take off really easily and really well because I had identified my audience and was able to sell very easily.
So, how did you know beyond the beginning products that you made? Because you used them, so you knew there were others who would find them helpful. How were you able to figure out what direction to expand your inventory in? Like, what else do people need and want, and then create those?
Okay, so what I did was I noticed when I first started selling the habit trackers and the budget products and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
that I had made them in August and I was selling a ton in, November, December, January. And then my sales started to go down and down and down. And I go, oh my
Mm-hmm.
God, there's something seasonal about budgets and habit trackers. And I
Mm-hmm.
started to identify the fact that I'm not making as much money because I am not creating products for the what's selling right now. So, in February, you're going to be selling like Valentine's or, a party game for Valentine's Day or something,
Yeah.
Valentine's Day products. And then in March might be spring cleaning checklists and chore charts and stuff. And so I started to say, okay, I'm going to start making products based on my experiences as a accountant, business person, and mom
Mm-hmm.
that could maybe fit these different times of the year to sell products. And so then, so then I was able to start making products that would sell year round and also seasonally, like chore charts and stuff like that. And what I did is I started to look at the market and I'm like, okay, well, there are already a lot of chore charts. How can I differentiate my product? Well, I could sell it to different audiences. I could sell a chore chart for kids. I could sell a chore chart for adults. I can sell a cleaning checklist. I could sell a spring cleaning checklist, which is maybe a bigger cleaning list. And then also that's when I started to decide to get more into fillable PDFs because I saw that there was no fillable PDFs in the chore chart and like budget niche and stuff like that. And I knew that I could easily make more money if I added more value to my products. And that's why I started to create fillable PDF products that I sell today. That's how I made tons of money easily.
And for anyone who doesn't know what a fillable PDF product is, what exactly is that? Like, can you give us an
Oh,
example?
yeah. Okay. So you may have received forms, from a teacher for your kid or like a doctor's office or something. And they say print out and fill out these forms and return them to us, or fill this form out in Adobe Reader and then return it to us. So a fillable PDF is a fillable document, a fillable form. And so when you create a fillable PDF in the printables world to sell on Etsy, you're taking a template that you create in a design program such as Canva or Adobe InDesign or anything like that. And then you take it over into a program called Adobe DC and you lay the fillable fields over your design however you want. So like on a chore chart, it would be like the fillable fields where you put in the different chores, and then you can put check boxes for when those are complete. A really popular product I have is a meal planner, because a lot of people don't necessarily want to print out a meal planner. They want to just open up the fillable form on their computer and type into it, and then maybe share it with their spouse. A lot of people put them in their Google Drive and share them with their spouse, and then they can update the form. So it's kind of like you're creating the power of spreadsheets, but on a document, because a lot of people don't feel comfortable using spreadsheets.
Yeah.
And so that's how I was able to position these products, was the power of spreadsheets, but with a very friendly and easy to use form. So that's what it is. It's just a form.
What's the competition like within the printables market or printables niche on Etsy when you compare fillable forms to regular printables that one can just maybe more easily create and then have the customer print out?
Well, that's the thing, is it's kind of like, I say to you, I think of it as an accountant. Accountants used to have to do accounting in a general ledger by hand.
Ugh.
So I can give you the Excel spreadsheet to print out and fill in by hand, or I can sell you an Excel spreadsheet and you can keep it on your computer and type into it quickly and save it to a cloud, stuff like that. So that's the same way that you're positioning these fillable products compared to printables. You say, do you really want to have to print this out? You don't have to use any ink, because a fillable PDF would be like a very utilitarian product with a lot of utility. It's just a useful product. So like wall art, it might not make sense to have a fillable field if it's not something that has utility. Like a Wi-Fi sign would be an example of something you could put a fillable PDF field on, because then the person who buys it could put the Wi-Fi password and username in there and put it up in their business. That creates value for a business. But like something just like abstract wall art, it wouldn't make sense for that to not be anything but a printable. So it really just depends on the niche. And so I realized that I didn't have to be a amazing designer, because I'm not a graphic designer, to be able to make more money than people who probably are on Etsy, because I'm offering a fillable version of this product that people want.
Do you find that you are doing perhaps more customer service troubleshooting because your tool your products are a bit more, I shouldn't say a bit more technical, because I think everybody knows how to fill in forms online, but because they're a bit more, what's the word? I guess
maybe there's more functionality.
Yes, there's more functionality. So do you find that you're having to answer more questions from customers for that reason?
I never have customer service issues, because I always like to try to think 2 to 3 steps above or in front of where the customer could go. So for a fillable PDF, I offer instructions in the listing images on how to use it. I offer instructions in the item description on how to use it. And I also like to create a video on how to use it if I feel like that would make it a more it would answer questions before they're asked. I literally never, ever have questions on how to use my fillable PDF products ever.
How do you direct people to watch the instructional videos that you create?
Oh, so what I do is I create a listing image that says instructional video link included in the item description. So then they go and look in they look in the item description and they go, oh, and it's kind of also nice because it's like a see it but before you buy it way of selling it. And then I also drop it on YouTube so that I can bring in traffic from YouTube to my products. And YouTube is actually a great source of traffic for me. Now I sell a lot of my
Mm.
spreadsheets now primarily because of YouTube, and it's been a great source of traffic. And I didn't have the intent of bringing in traffic from YouTube to my Etsy shop. I was just trying to help answer questions before I receive them. It was to because I try to keep my Etsy shop as passive as possible. I don't
Yeah.
want to answer questions. I don't want to have to do customer facing things. And so I wanted to say, okay, how can I keep these questions away? And so, yeah, so having the videos really helps to keep those people away. And I think it also helps to close the deal on making sales.
Yeah, for sure. Because I feel like if I can see how it works and you show me, and I don't really have to talk to you, but you show me everything I need to know, I'm more apt to buy than
Oh,
not.
yeah.
Would you
And I think
consider?
like something like 90% of buyers want to see a video now. They
Yep.
want a video. So yeah, it's very valuable.
I'm definitely in that 90% because now I will go if I'm considering buying something, I will go to YouTube and see if anybody is talking about it or if this, the company who is selling it or the person who's selling it has shown it in a video. I do that now
Yeah.
so much more. And even on Amazon, I'll scroll down to the reviews and see because now people upload videos. And
Mm-hmm.
if I see a customer who has made a video of something I'm looking at, I tend to just trust that a bit more than just, what the seller says.
Yeah, exactly. It just gives that, I don't know, it's just if you can see something in action, you trust it more. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Yeah.
So would you consider yourself a YouTuber or just an accidental YouTuber?
Oh my God, accidental YouTuber. I'm an elder millennial, I guess. And so
That's
I
funny.
I'm not like a TikToker.
Yeah.
Instagram confuses my elder millennial mind. I just was like, where can I put my videos? And so I was, oh, okay, I'll do YouTube. And then
Yeah.
I just looked at the search bar on YouTube to look for keywords. I just literally would type in, like budget spreadsheet and see what auto populated and just use that for the title of my video. And that was how I was able to get
Wow.
traffic to my Etsy shop, which is basic SEO using YouTube. And it was just, I think I'd seen a webinar. So I watched a YouTube webinar from someone who's trying to sell their YouTube program or something. And I was just, because I just wanted to know how to put my videos on there to possibly get them in front of the people who wanted to watch them. And it's
Yeah.
just really basic. Like I do nothing on my YouTube channel to bring myself traffic. It's just purely to house data, house information.
Yeah.
So
Have
I'm not a
you
YouTuber. No, I'm not a personality on YouTube. I'm not an influencer.
have you qualified for ads on your videos?
Not yet. I actually had decided to maybe try to do that by offering educational Etsy content, like Etsy coaching content on there,
Yeah.
basic stuff, like just informational things that people could use, basic Canva knowledge, how to do basic things on Canva related to digital
Yeah.
products, stuff like that. And I just haven't done it yet. When you're a company of one, time is never on your side.
Uh-huh.
I'm actually working on a course on how to make video content for your Etsy products to sell them better, because I've been able to use video to sell more products as well as my fillable PDF stuff. I've been building upon what I do to get it into more buyers' hands. So video really helped me. So I'm like, well, I want to teach other people how to make this work for them. And same with the fillable
Oh.
PDF course I created. It was like, wow, fillable PDFs have made me a lot of money. I want to help other people do the same thing. And so yeah, that's the course I'm working on now. And then I think I'm going to next work on doing that adding more content to my YouTube channel to monetize it, because it's like what,
Yeah.
2,000 watch hours a year, or no, wait, is it
4.
2,000 people subscribe and 4,000 watch hours, something like that?
Yeah, they recently upped the numbers. It used to be
Yeah.
1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. And now I think it's maybe 2,000 subscribers, but 4,000 watch hours per month, not just all
Oh,
time.
not enough. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well then,
Yeah.
maybe never
No,
I'll monetize
no, I
it.
think you will, because the people who do educational Etsy content on YouTube are like on fire in a good way, because I have seen some who started off with like 52 subscribers, and I'm watching their videos and thinking this is really good stuff, and in a couple of weeks I come back and they're at 1.8k subscribers, and then
Oh,
a month
wow.
later they're at 50 something thousand subscribers. It's hotcakes if you
Okay.
focus.
Well,
Yeah.
I was gonna. It's funny because I have a love-hate relationship with Pinterest, and people told me, "Oh, you should make a Pinterest course." And they change the algorithm all the
Mm-hmm.
time.
Mm-hmm.
They went public recently, so they're trying to make the stakeholders happy, and
Yeah.
they just issued a statement on the Motley Fool saying that they are a platform for shoppers. And so like, oh my god, so like everything I know changes constantly. So I was thinking about making Pinterest content for free, like a Pinterest course for free on YouTube, just because I have such a love-hate relationship with them that I would never make anyone pay me to teach them how to use Pinterest, because it changes so much.
Uh-huh.
How could anyone call themselves a Pinterest expert at this point? No one could. Like
Yeah.
literally no one. So I just want to be someone who does, like that's what Etsy kind of is too. It's like, how do
Yep.
you know what they're going to do next? You can't really be an expert. You're just trying to guide people and help people make sense of the madness at times based on your own experiences at work and what doesn't
And
work.
what
And I
does
think,
exactly, exactly. And that's
yeah.
one of the reasons too that I have not done an Etsy course and don't plan to, because it changes so much. And I feel that doing this, having conversations like this on a podcast that is updated frequently and weekly, is a better way. And I sorry to anybody who has an Etsy course, but is a good way, I shouldn't say better, is a good way to keep people abreast of all the changes in real time. Because yeah, if somebody listens to an episode from 2 or 3 years ago and things have changed since then, if they're subscribed and they're still listening now, they'll know what's up. They'll know, yes, the fees are now 6.5%. They're not 3% like they were at one point, and not 5% like they were last year. Where if you
Mm-hmm.
have a course, it takes a bit more of it's more of a lift to go in and update all the little things that keep changing with these platforms that keep changing and evolving.
Oh yeah, it would be exhausting. You'd have to have a
Yeah.
team of elves to help you keep keep up with all of it. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
why I think a lot of the people on YouTube and stuff who give away the content for free is because they don't want to be held accountable
Uh-huh.
to letting anyone down. So like, hey, I was just telling you what I knew
Yeah.
at on May 5th,
Yeah.
2020.
It was true that day.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at with
Yeah.
that too. Yeah. I'll tell you what I know at this point in time, but I'm not going to give you any forecasting or anything. Yeah. No. I can't do that to myself.
Yes. Well, I have to tell you, it does sound exciting. This course that you're working on, using YouTube to draw traffic to your Etsy shop, because one of the things that I do want to ask you about is you have a website slash blog. Well,
Mhm.
do you consider it a blog or a full blown website with additional functionality?
Well, it's a blog right now, but I'm actually going to add like a Shopify to it. I just
Okay.
added a small little PLR area because I'm starting to sell commercial use templates. So
Mm-hmm.
that's like business to business templates in the digital product space. And then um, I started my blog is more like frugality, because I mean I'm an accountant. I was
Mm-hmm.
raised super dirt poor, and so I've always been a believer in frugality, and that's
Mm-hmm.
how I've been paving my path to financial independence, is by being frugal. And so that's what my blog started on. But now that I've grown as a solopreneur business owner, I want to be able to put that information on my blog. I also
Mm-hmm.
review courses that have helped me along the way. I use my blog to share that kind of information.
Yeah.
And yeah, so really it's just a lot of things going on at once. I do need to work on it, and that's on my list for the rest of the year. But yeah, I do want to do the Shopify thing because I want to be able to claim that account on my Pinterest account to do a case study to see if having your Shopify linked to your Pinterest brings in more traffic to your Shopify, because Pinterest doesn't allow you to claim your Etsy account anymore. And so I used
Yeah.
to get a ton of traffic from Pinterest, and when they removed that, it dropped big
Yeah.
time. And so I'm like, well, maybe there's something here. I want to do a case study on that and share my findings on YouTube. So
Yep.
yeah.
Now, which came first, the blog or your Etsy shop?
The Etsy shop was first, and then
Okay.
I got the blog after that, because I just wanted to see if I could bring in traffic from the blog to the Etsy shop.
And could
And
you?
I realized, oh God, it's different. Doing SEO for Etsy, the reason why Etsy is so great is because they pay millions of dollars a year to Google for ad spend to bring
Mhm.
traffic from their search engine and other search engines to the Etsy marketplace to buy your thing. And
Mhm.
so your fees pay for that. And to me, that's amazing. When you have a blog, you're trying to SEO optimize your blog post to
Mhm.
bring in traffic, to then bring those people over to your Etsy shop to buy the thing. And it's just a lot more work. It takes a lot more time. Etsy, I could list something today and sell it today. If it's SEO optimized to sell on Etsy, it most likely will sell today, and it's in demand. And so I found with the blog, it was just so much more slow going because it's just a totally different beast. And
Mm.
to try to get to the first page of Google it can be hard. And so you're having to search on a website called Key Search to try to find the keywords to optimize for your
Yeah.
blog. And so it's just like it's this whole different thing. And as we all know, the second page of Google is to most people considered the dark web. So you have to pretty much get
Uh-huh.
your blog post to be on page one, or you're never going to get the click. But on Etsy, it's just so much easier to get the click and to get the conversion. And so I started to focus all my time. I did my blog for about 6 months focusing on that, and I'm like, I'm just not getting the traffic I want to see, so I'm going to focus purely on my Etsy shop, and it paid off.
Okay. I like that. The dark. I've never heard. I've heard it referred to as other things, page two of Google, but not the dark web. But I like that one.
It's the dark web.
Um. Okay. So, Sasha, you do a lot. In addition to running your Etsy shop, and we just heard setting up this blog, which is going to be part of what you're going to focus on for the rest of the year. You're also a content manager for Gold City Ventures. Can we talk about what you do for them, and then just in general, how you manage your time between all the things that you do?
Yeah, so Gold City Ventures is the course that actually taught me how to create printables. It's a really great course. It's extremely affordable, and it's so funny, when I had decided to take that course was shortly after I'd seen all this stuff on Pinterest on the rotating meal plan. I'm like, oh God, the timing, it was like the stars aligned. And as an accountant, I was making really good money. And yet I was like, oh, I don't know, $197 for this course sounds expensive. And I'm like, oh my God,
Yeah.
you spent like all this money on your education, have tons
Uh-huh.
of student loans. Take this course, you know you can do it. So the course is extremely affordable. You get a lot of value with the course, and they also have a with your course comes a free 30-day trial membership, and then it's $29 a month after that. But every month you get I actually host 2 to 3 like creative chats or like webinars with everyone in the group who wants to show up. It could be between 20, and I had like 59 people one time.
Mm.
Just talking about whatever I talk about their Etsy shops. They ask me questions. They ask for my advice, and I do that 3 times a month as part of being a content manager. I also design, create, and deliver the 5 commercial use templates every month in the vault that people can they turn them into their own handmade product, and then they can put them in their Etsy shop, they can put them on their Shopify. The Printables course is the Printables course, but I mean, there's people who have blogs who take the course, they're bloggers, and they create the blogs to sell to their audience, to their email list, put them in their Shopify store, whatever. And the course teaches you really how to make money selling printables. And it's extremely awesome. It's valuable. When I first started, it didn't have half the content that it does now. It's an insane value. So for them, every month I do the webinars. I'm also a admin in the Facebook group. So if you drop questions, I answer them. I deliver the templates. I manage the templates. I also uh, what else do I do? I create the content and post it on their Instagram account. So that's all free educational content related to digital products.
Mm.
I do it. I love it because I get to just talk about printables and digital products, and it's just so much fun, and I really enjoy it. So I just really love doing the content management and creation for them.
Yeah.
It came, that opportunity came to me at a great time. They approached me to do that for them. I really like it. I also I help to write and oversee the writing of the blog content on their blog. There's a lot of content, same thing on printables, digital products, if you're curious about it, on the blog. And it's a really great brand. I offer a lot of value
Mm-hmm.
for what they do. They've, oh my God, I don't even know how many people they've taken through the course now, at least over 5,000 or 6,000 people.
Wow.
It's just a really great course. I highly recommend it. I wouldn't work for them if I didn't believe in their product. So yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
do for them. And yeah, I love it. I love it.
I know I mentioned this to you before we started recording, but I just want to say it again. I personally have not done the ePrintables course, but I have talked to people who have, and I'm aware of it. And one of the things I told you is that of all the people that I've talked to that have gone through it, every one of them is doing something like has found success in the printables field or the printables niche, if you will. And so I think that just speaks to the course itself and what's offered. Again, I'm not speaking from personal experience. I'm just speaking as someone on the periphery who has talked with people who have done it and are happy with what they got out of it. How often is the course updated, or is belonging to the community after where you get the fresh new ideas and in addition to the templates and whatnot?
You do not have to be a part of the community, have the monthly membership to be able to get the course updates. So, um,
Okay.
yeah, they just did course updates recently, I think maybe in January, and I added some content to the course too on like how to make listing images. I created listing image templates that are free that you can use. I walk you through how to use. I also teach you how to make a chore chart real quickly in Canva.
Mm.
A lot of, just because a lot of the course content, products change, the
Mm-hmm.
demand changes. So they had originally done, like calendar templates and wine labels. Well, it's a lot harder to um, be a big fish in a small pond with calendar templates. So
Yeah.
they've updated, and I've helped them update that material so that's more relevant to what's selling now and
Yeah.
what people want now. So yeah, they are constantly thinking of ways to update the course material. And I think they're even going to update it again because Canva changed again to where you can change the different like shape elements, change different things about them, type into them, resize them, reshape them, and stuff like that. So that's a new update. That's actually a major update in the world of printable creation. So yeah, they're
Cool.
always thinking of ways to update the course. And
Cool.
the membership just helps you to have a community to bounce ideas off of. So you're
Mm-hmm.
not just kind of like
Floundering
you know,
after.
yeah, if
Yep.
you want, feedback on a product you just made to see if it's SEO optimized, or if you just need someone else to take a look at it. Because like oh my God, I have never had anyone I know buy a printable from me, right? And I have over 11,000 sales. I think I almost have 12,000 sales on Etsy, and not one of those was to anyone I know. And so,
Wow.
you know, being in a community, you can talk to people who are in the same boat as you, because you could
Yeah.
say to your friend or your spouse or family member, hey, do you like this printable? And they're like, yeah, I guess, I don't
Yeah,
know,
I like
and
it.
so, so it's just a really great way to have people who want to help you succeed, give you feedback, and give you that support you need to feel confident to keep going. And that's the whole goal. Like, I really feel passionately about helping people to get through those hard days or hard times, because
Yeah.
I'm not always making a ton of sales all the time. Sometimes it can be pretty seasonal. It just depends on what's going on in my shop and what I have that's in super demand. And so I think that people, when they first start and they're like, oh, I had a really awesome product for this holiday, like Father's Day, but now I'm not making any money. You can help carry them through
Mm,
that time and help them think of new ideas and keep them in
yeah.
the game and keep them in that positive mindset. And that's the benefit of being in a community to me.
I like that. I like that. Not only does the course have um the community for when you're there, but it does offer help for after, which is, I think, when most people tend to struggle. And for anyone who is interested in this course, stay tuned. One of the creators of the course, Julie Berninger, is going to be my guest on the podcast, and we're going to talk in a lot more detail about the ePrintables course. If you have any specific questions for Julie, please feel free to send them to me so I can ask Julie, so we can talk about them on the podcast. If you're on the fence or still considering whether or not you want to sign up for the course, go to convo.me.com and use the contact form, and you can submit your questions that way. Or you can just wait for our conversation, and where she and I will discuss the course in more detail. Sasha, one of the things you mentioned, and I just want to rewind a bit for anyone who might not have understood, is you mentioned PLR. What is PLR, and how does that relate to an Etsy seller?
So PLR is private label rights. And so what it is it's pre-created content, like products. A popular one would be coloring pages that you can sell. You can get it. You can sell it on Amazon KDP. A lot of the people in the PLR space sell these products on Amazon KDP, which is a self-publishing platform. And people also take it and make it into a handmade product and then sell it in their Etsy shop. And so it's like having a done for you product, practically done for you, that you just have to change it and then make it more customized to your audience or your niche or whatever, and then sell it. So the commercial use template has commercial use rights. And that's the benefit, is a lot of people who come to Etsy through the PLR world is they don't know how to sell on Etsy. They might not have taken a course on how to sell products on Etsy. They don't know what SEO is or any of that. So they buy these done for you templates and just list them in mass, hoping to make money on Etsy. And that's when they call me for a coaching call and go, I'm not making any money with
It's
this
not
stuff.
selling.
What am I doing wrong?
Yes.
And so it's very tempting to buy a ton of PLR and try to just list it on Etsy to make money. But you have to know how to sell. That's a part of being a business owner. You have to know how to sell what you're creating or you're, tweaking to be handmade for yourself. And it's just PLR is a way to shorten the creation curve in a way. And a lot of those products are more low value, like coloring pages, and they don't have the low value being that it's just something simple. It's not like a babysitter planner sophisticated product that's a fillable PDF that I create. That would be more high value. That's more high value. It's just something really simple, like a journal page with some clip art on it and some lines on it to be where someone could print it out and have a journaling habit start. So that's the kind of stuff that PLR is.
Okay. And this brings me to your course, because in your course, you teach people how to create products that, like you said, are a bit more, well, I wouldn't say a bit, are much more, have more value, so you can charge more. And one of the things that hurts my heart is when I see people selling printables for $1 or $1.20 or less.
Yeah, me too. That makes me very unhappy.
Yes. And I've sold coloring pages on Etsy that I created from scratch. So
Oh,
I understand the value of PLR because having to create from scratch, I feel like there's no way you should be charging $1 for the effort that goes into that. But you have created a course that teaches people how to create products that are they're printable and they're passive eventually. They bring in passive income eventually, but add value to the product so that you can charge a premium for the value you're adding. For anyone who's
oh,
interested, Sasha's course is called the Fillable PDF Course. I have taken the course and I love it. Sasha is a great teacher in that she starts from, sorry, Sasha, I'm talking about you like you're not here, but I will
that's
let you
fine.
give more information about your course as well. But I did want to talk about it just from a personal experience point of view. And of course, if you have any questions, you can reach out to Sasha or myself. You start us from the very beginning, explaining, first of all, what a fillable PDF is and what you can do with it, and then take us individually through how to create these different types of printables and make them functional for the end user. Can you tell that person who maybe is in the printables niche and is exactly your client who would come to you and say, hey, nothing is selling, what sets what you're teaching apart from what they're currently doing, and why your course might be a solution to helping them start getting more sales and making more income on Etsy?
Okay, well, what I say to people is like a chore chart is a great example.
Mm-hmm.
If I was to see a printable, if I was a buyer and I saw a fillable PDF printable product on Etsy for sale, and it was like $3.99, and then I see a printable, just a printable product I have to print out and write in for $3.99. Which one do you think that person is going to buy? They're going to buy the thing with more bells and whistles, whether or not
Mm-hmm.
they believe they need it or not. So
Yeah.
a lot of the people who buy it from me, they'll say, oh, my handwriting is atrocious. I'm so happy I bought this chore chart from you. I typed all my family members' names into it, the chores that they're
Yeah.
supposed to do, and I put it, I laminated it and put it on our refrigerator. And
Yeah.
now everyone can clearly read it and they love it. And so I also have a babysitter planner product that people love, and people love that they can fill it in and they don't have good handwriting and it's easy and clear to read for the person caring for their child, so that if an emergency arises, it's clearly put in there. The information is easy to read.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like these products just they just add so much value because people can type into it, they can download it and put it on a shared drive, and they can send it to someone easily, they can share it with their family members. You can do it. I mean, you could do so much with Fillable PDFs. In the course, I go through how to create a meal planner PDF and then a savings tracker with calculated fields. They teach you how to easily create calculated fields. So
Mm-hmm.
I have a paycheck budget template that I have. And what inspired me to make that was, if you're in college or something and you're given a task of breaking down how to use a cell phone for your grandmother who's never used a cell phone. And so that's the reason why I created a paycheck budget with calculated fields, because I know so many people who don't know how to use Excel. They know Excel is extremely valuable and
Mm-hmm.
and easy to use, but I wanted to be able to deliver the value of a spreadsheet with a fillable form that's super easy and user friendly to use. And that's what I teach in the course. And so I teach you how to make a carb counter with fillable fields. I personally make weight loss trackers with fillable calculated fields. I put fillable fields on everything I sell pretty much now. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think I made $600. No, I did make $600 on my Father's Day coupon product this month in my Etsy shop, because I put fillable fields where it's the coupon that they can redeem it for, like breakfast in bed or something, or no chores today. I pre-fill the fields, but then the person who buys them can go ahead and alter them if they want, make it more
Mm.
customizable. People love that customizable functionality.
Mm.
And also, I teach you how you can create a product that, when you create a product for someone else, you might say, okay, well, I want them to be able to change the font type, the font size, the font color for
Yeah.
these more customized products, like maybe lunchbox notes for your kid or something. And I teach you how you can teach your customer how to make their product even more customizable. People love to feel like, and it also depends on your audience. So like the done for you fillable fields for like a Mother's Day coupon book is super valuable to a person buying for a mother. Maybe it's a husband or something, and they're like, oh my God, I'm so happy this was done for me, but I can also create a few custom ones that makes me feel like I'm adding more,
Mm-hmm.
making it more special for the
Personal.
person I'm
Yeah.
buying. Yeah. And so being able to create printable products with the fillable functionality makes people just want to buy it so much more. You just really show them how they can use it and make it more special for their situation. And that's why my course, see, when I created my course, I created it because I really wanted to do calculated fields. And I was looking online, like for any YouTube videos, any sort of like Adobe forums, anything on how to do
Mm.
this. And it did not exist anywhere. I even bought Adobe, the subscription package, which is super affordable on a monthly basis. And I dove through their forums to find out how to do calculated fields. And a lot of it was like, oh, we'll only teach you how to do it just bare basic JavaScript. I'm like,
Mm.
what? Like, I don't want to learn JavaScript. This is crazy. And so I taught myself how to do the basic calculated functionality that I teach in my course that is taught nowhere else. And so I'm speaking from firsthand experience. It took me 6 months to teach myself how to do all of the things I teach in the course, and you'll be able to learn it in one weekend. And then take that over to your fillable product, I mean, your printable products, and be able to sell them for more money. And like, I love it because people in the digital planner space, they can take my course and then they can take their digital planner templates from their digital planner that, a digital planner is just it's a PDF with hyperlinks. And so you get rid of
Mm-hmm.
the hyperlinks and you take your printable product into Adobe VC and you can lay the fillable fields over it. And you've just turned your digital planner product into a fillable PDF product because not everyone wants to buy a digital planner, but you've been
Yeah.
able to repurpose that product into another high value product. And that's what I love about the course is that I'm able to help people turn their different products into more high value products and even just increase their digital inventory. And so maybe you have a printable, but you want to see if you can sell more of it as a fillable PDF. And it just really helps you to grow your inventory, make your products more desirable or more valuable. And yeah, that's why I did it, was to help people make more money.
On average, what's a good price to set for selling a fillable product on Etsy?
It just really depends on what you're selling. So
Okay.
I have a fillable PDF. I just make like the coupon book,
Mm-hmm.
$3.99. But I also sell a commercial use template that in case of emergency binder that you can turn into a fillable PDF, and those sell for $25 on Etsy. And
Wow.
people just really want that. You can sell it year round because it's like an estate planner product, and
Yeah.
people are always constantly looking for stuff like that. So it
Yeah.
just really depends on what you want. Like, I'm able to sell, and that's the thing you have to focus on too, is I can sell it for more money, but also I could sell more of it because it'll be more desirable than just a printable product. And
Yeah.
that's how I wanted to beat out the competition. Was I want to sell more of this thing than everyone else. That was my
Yeah.
goal. I mean, I know I can sell a coupon book year round, maybe here and there, but I sell one that's not seasonal. It's just for any kind of holiday. And I sell it all the time. I have all my scavenger hunt products I create fillable, just a blank template with fillable fields so they can create their own scavenger hunt. And I sell my scavenger hunt products year round all the time because I
Wow.
did that. So by creating your printables with fillable form fields, you're just making them more desirable for people to buy
Mm-hmm.
um, all year
Year
round at
round.
a you're selling a higher volume of different products.
How long? Now, I know you mentioned that one. will be able to create these products in a weekend. So is the course, how long typically does it take to, or do you estimate it will take someone to get through the entire course?
So if you sat there for the whole weekend, like I think there's only, gosh, maybe 3 hours of video content in the course. And
Mm-hmm.
then you sit there and you push pause and you do your thing in Adobe DC or Canva, because I teach you how to take the templates I created in Canva, customize them, and then take them over to Adobe DC.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I created the course in like 3 or 4 days. So
Wow.
I feel like you could easily complete the course in a weekend and
Okay.
start listing products for sale.
Okay. And in addition to, um, well, your Etsy shop, you mentioned Canva and Adobe DC. Do we need any other tools, or would one need any additional tools to be able to create these products?
No, so all you need is a free Canva account. And
Okay.
because all the templates I provide to you are for Canva free.
Okay.
And then also you can do a 7-day free trial of Adobe DC to do the course.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I did when I first started creating fillable PDFs is I would create a whole bunch of templates in Canva that I wanted to turn, or printables I wanted to turn into fillable PDFs.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I would do is I would turn on I have a monthly subscription to Adobe, the whole entire suite now, but I did at the time just Adobe DC.
Mm-hmm.
And I turned it on for the month, made all my fillable products, and turned it off. And that's an extremely cost-effective way to scale your printable business
Mm-hmm.
when you're creating fillable PDFs. So that's why I
Okay.
like it, because I'm very cheap. So I thought about how can I really help people to make these products as affordably as possible and as
Yeah.
cheap as possible. So you just need a free trial and Canva free, which is free for as long as you use it, and you don't use up all your space in their cloud for your free account, which would take forever. So you
Yeah.
just need free software to do it.
Okay.
And I know that that's important to me, so that's why I wanted to create a course doing that for others.
Yeah. And I reached out to, when I first started the course, I did reach out to Sasha because I didn't have a subscription to Adobe DC. And I don't know if you remember when I emailed you and I said, hey, do I need to subscribe to this? Because I don't know if I want to subscribe. And I liked that you gave me that workaround where you said exactly what you just said now. Get all the things that you want to create, maybe for the month, all set up in Canva and ready, then pay for 1 month of DC and make Adobe DC, I should say, and then make everything fillable, then turn it off. And I thought, yeah, that's a kind of money saving strategy that I would like to know about, because then after you do that, once you start getting regular sales, then it might be worth it to subscribe and maybe pay less a month, but know that you're locked in for the year.
Yeah, that's what I did. And then when I started to create more stuff, and like I create digital stickers and stuff, and that's easy to do in Photoshop, to
Mm-hmm.
the finish out the stickers. And so I found at Black Friday, you can actually get the entire Adobe Creative Suite for $32 a month if you lock in at an annual price.
Mm.
And that's insanely cheap because you get access to everything that Adobe offers. And I also have a subscription now to Adobe Stock because I create Instagram templates that I sell in my Etsy shop. But that's where I started, was just like the free membership of Adobe DC. And and then I was able to take the money I was making from my fillable PDFs and reinvest it back in my business.
Yeah.
And that's was my plan, was to just reinvest and not spend money. And I always keep track of what I was spending. That's the accountant in me. And so I had my little break even point, and I was able to um, make my money back faster because I was creating higher value products.
Yeah. Now, speaking about creating products, how does one know what to create? In the course, you teach us how to create 6 different types of products. But say we want to expand our inventory, how do we figure out what other types of fillable PDFs we can create?
Okay, so what I do is I just go into like eRank. I use eRank a lot for my shop. I know I've tried out a lot of different of those search the SEO help search things. And I know
Mm-hmm.
you use Sales Samurai.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really used that one a lot, but it's just because I got so comfortable with eRank when I compared it to Marmalade and I preferred eRank. But what I do
Yeah.
is I'll just go into eRank and I'll type in a word like planner. And then I'll go and see what the long tail keywords are with low competition and high search volume, and then I'll click on that long tail keyword, and then I'll go down to the top listings, and then I'll see what the top listings on Etsy are for those keywords, and then I'll do my market research on Etsy from that point, and then I'll go see like which ones are selling, which ones are bestsellers on Etsy and the
Mm.
for that long tail keyword related to the word planner. And then I'll say, okay, what's it selling for? Are there fillable PDFs of this? Can I create a fillable PDF and blow away the competition? That's what I'm going to do. And that's how I do it. That's what I did originally with short charts and then with coupon books and then with scavenger hunts and all of that. So, and then I recently had come across like fillable, how to create fillable bingo games was something that someone wanted to know how to do, because you can create fillable PDF customizable bingo games for people to do for baby showers, for birthday parties, for
Mm-hmm.
family reunions and stuff. And that's something I also teach in my courses, how to make a customizable fillable PDF bingo game. And you can do that with baby shower games, with bachelorette party games. So, I mean, like literally anything you can think of that someone would want to customize, you can turn it into a you can use Adobe DC and what you learn in my course to make it into a fillable PDF. I mean, it could be gift tags. I mean, anything. And so what I do is I like to just go to eRank, type in a basic keyword like planner, template, printable, whatever. And then I
Mm-hmm.
go and see, okay, well, what are good long tail keywords related to this word? And is there a demand for fillable versions of this thing? And can I make it? And can I make it quickly? And can I beat out all the competition?
Yeah. I'll
So
tell
that's what
you.
I've done. Yeah.
I'll tell you one of the things that when I was looking at the sales page for your course that got me excited was when I saw one of the things that you would teach was how to make bingo games, because I sell a couple in my printable store, and I made them manually. And I
Oh my
mean
gosh.
manual. Yes. So when I saw that, I was like, what? You can automate making the bingo games? So that was one of the clinchers for me.
Yeah, and imagine being a buyer like, "Oh my God, I can customize this for grandma's birthday." Wow.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
It's just such a big selling point, or like a baby shower or like bachelor or bridal shower. People love customizable games for that.
Yes. Yes. Those are really the best too, because one, you can sell them for a premium, and two, people will buy those more because they can
It's more
make it their
special.
own. Yeah, it's more
Yeah.
special.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Sasha, you also offer one-on-one coaching. What does a coaching session with you look like? What can people come to you for and expect to get when they sign up for coaching?
Okay, so I coach people who are just starting out, and then I also coach people who come to me from like the PLR world and are
Mm-hmm.
seeking help on how to make money, and
Mm-hmm.
then also people who might be like more intermediate and even advanced. And I coach people in the digital products space because that's where I have all of my experience.
Mm-hmm.
And people ask me questions. They ask me for a shop review. I help them to create a roadmap for their own shop and their existing products, and how to create, if they're making something that's selling, let's make more of that. Let's look into that, and then let's see why your other products aren't selling. We'll do market research together. I share my screen with them, and I when I'm looking and searching and doing keyword research with them and stuff, I they can see exactly what I'm doing, and they're learning as they go, and they're able to get a new perspective on things. They can ask me anything they want. I mean, I coach people in India. I coach people all over the world. Someone in Thailand, um, a person in India is actually having me help them to move more into commercial, selling more commercial business to business templates, and then
Oh,
like help with their website. They want to do a membership. And so then I am also coaching people who are just beginning on Etsy in the printable space and figuring out a niche and helping them to understand how to make a logo, just basic Canva stuff. I also want my favorite people, some of my favorite people to help coach are the elderly, because they're so sweet. They're, trying to supplement their retirement income,
yeah.
and they just might need tech support. And I have I just have people that I love to coach who are older, and they're just trying to have something fun to do in their retirement years and teach. And and I try, they get discouraged because they're like, I don't know this technology. I feel like this isn't something I can do. And I say to them, you know, people go to college and have to take remedial college courses. It doesn't mean that you're excluded from the dream of being able to do this business. It just
Mm,
might take you a little bit more time, but that's okay because everybody's journey is different. So
yeah.
I just help people to create a roadmap for their own journey to making money selling digital products on Etsy.
I like that. And if someone wants to sign up for one-on-one services, coaching with you, what's the best way they can get set up? Do you want them to go to your Etsy store or your website?
I do sell coaching through my Etsy shop, and I
Okay.
do sell it through my website. So
Oh,
you can
okay.
find it either way. Yeah.
Okay. And again, Sasha's Etsy shop is Your Frugal Friend. I will, of course, have a link to her Etsy shop as well as her website, which is yourfrugalfriendblog.com.
Yes.
Sasha, what would you say is something that you're doing now that you feel is working really well for you?
Definitely. So for me, I do tons of research on keyword research. And
Mm,
so doing keyword research before you create a product is something that works for me. And
mm,
I think that people discount that that is something that will work for them. They get really excited about this thing in their minds, and
mm.
they're like, I just know this will sell. I know it'll sell. And then I do the keyword research and I'm like, there's no demand. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you. I know it's a very unique idea to you, but literally no one
No one wants
cares
that.
about it right now. No one cares. And so what works for me now is spending my time creating things that I'm excited to make, but that I've done the keyword research for on the
Yeah.
front end to make, that I see and I look at the seasonality, because I believe that everything you sell is seasonal. I mean,
Mm,
you can say there are some products that are evergreen, which means it sells year round, like a budget printable, but you're going to sell them the most at the end of the year and the beginning of the year. And
mm.
so everything has a season,
Yeah.
and being able to identify the seasonality for literally anything. It could be a receipt. Like I sell a lot of receipt forms at this time of year because people are printing them out and using them at craft fairs. And craft
Oh,
fairs are a big thing in the summertime. So
yeah.
everything has seasonality to it. And being able to identify the seasonality of everything you want to sell, every idea you have, and then doing that keyword research around it, you can start to make products throughout the year, like 6 weeks ahead of when their season starts to begin. Like bachelorette games is a good one because those sell the best during the summer months because people
Mm-hmm.
are more likely to have a party in the summer. Same with
Mm-hmm.
a baby shower or something.
Yeah.
And so you think about, well, what would be selling at the end of the year? Well, think about coupon books that are like gifts for someone, like a babysitter coupon that's
Mm,
customizable with a fillable field or something. So you're like just identifying seasonal trend, the seasonal, not necessarily seasonal trends, but the seasonality of the product you want to make,
yeah.
whatever it is. Yeah,
Okay. Do you
that's what works for me.
do you put a conscious effort into balancing out the how do I say it? The seasonality of your products? Like, you try and make sure you have an equal amount of ones that sell, in the summer versus ones that sell at the ends of the year, end slash beginning of the year, or you just let it run.
I used to let it run, and then last year I actually traveled the U.S. in an RV with my husband and two small children because we were just trying to do something. And we
Yeah.
did that coast to coast. My husband works remotely and I am an entrepreneur. So
Yeah.
I could work whatever I wanted, but I realized that with two small children, you can't really work at all. So I was just on my Etsy shop ride to
Uh-huh.
see, when was I making money with my existing
Yeah.
inventory? And I saw that, the beginning of the year was awesome. And then it dipped lower in the summer. And then it came back up at the end of the year. And so then when we decided to move to where we are now, I was able to go, okay, I need to really make it to where I'm making revenue consistently to meet my revenue goals as an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
And so I focused this year on trying to keep my sales more consistent based on what I make. And yeah,
Okay.
I do make I made a conscious decision to do that this year, but that is definitely not necessary when you're first starting out or
Okay.
anything. You might make, I mean, God, last January I made $8,400 on budget printables. So you're like,
Whoa.
okay, well, if I have a bad February, who cares? It doesn't even really matter at this point. So you
Yeah.
might say I might have a quarterly revenue goal. You might not have a monthly revenue goal. And that if you make your revenue goal for the quarter, then you might not be as concerned about that. But I just like to push myself and see what I can accomplish. And so
Yeah.
that's why I try to have my revenue every month be consistent. So it's harder. Yeah, it's harder in like July with there being no necessarily major printable holidays other than 4th of July, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
really think that that's to me, like a major printable holiday. But
Mm-hmm.
beginning of the school year starts in August. And so there's lots of stuff you can make for the school year. And so you're like, okay, well, if I have a slow July, August could be awesome if I really focus on making
Mm-hmm.
these back to school printables.
Yeah.
So
And when
yeah, I like conscious of that.
okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And when would you how far in advance do you start planning for each season? So I think you mentioned 6 months.
Well, I actually now do it 12 months in advance
Oh
because I just have
wow.
the experience to do it. I have
Yeah.
a list of probably 500 products I want to make, and then I have a
Oh.
list of products I have made, but I need to list
Oh
because
wow.
I'm very manic with my creation. I'll be like, oh my God, I have to get this stuff done in my head. I have to get it out into the world. I have to birth these ideas.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
I get really serious and I make, like 10 products in a day and I'll list them the next day and then I won't do anything for a week because I'm like, oh God, oh, my creative juices are just all taken out of me. And so, I'm very manic with my creation, but yeah, I have it all documented like on a spreadsheet,
Mm-hmm.
but I, the rate at which I create isn't consistent.
Wow. You are so organized. I like that.
It wasn't always like this. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
bred out of necessity. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but still, it sounds like you have a really good system in place.
I'm working on it.
I
I'm always a work in progress.
have another question. Now, you've been featured on CNBC and MSN Money. How did that happen?
I am in a financial independence group on
Oh,
Facebook for
okay.
women. And a woman had posted, about a topic. And I said, well, I could talk about that. And so people ask and you talk. And I've actually done a lot of other articles. I just haven't updated that information, but people just reach out to me randomly, say, hey, so and like how you reached out to me. So
Oh,
and
yeah,
so told
yeah.
me about you. And I thought you'd be interesting to talk to. And I'm like, oh, well, thank you for thinking of me. So it's just the CNBC woman, she actually asked me to talk to her about a lot of other different things. And I did a lot of content for her, but
Hmm.
they drop it whenever they want to on like CNBC and MSN Money or whatever. And
Yeah.
it was just because it was about like, being a mom and starting a side hustle and doing a business or being frugal or caring about that kind of stuff and
Yeah.
your 2 cents on the matter. And yeah, there's a lot of people who I think do a different version of what I do, or probably moms or just women. And I think it's awesome that we're being featured more in that kind of stuff because it
Yeah.
shows that women are up to a lot of great stuff. And so I was
Yeah.
honored to be featured on those different publications.
Congratulations. That's a big deal.
Well, thank you.
And you should add your other publications too.
I know it's on my
One more
to-do
thing
list.
on your to-do list, right?
Oh gosh, never ending.
Now, as far as tools, you've mentioned eRank is what you use to do keyword research for Etsy. Then, as far as creating your fillable PDFs, you mentioned Adobe DC and Canva. Are there any other tools that you find particularly helpful in running your business?
I really like ConvertKit. I switched from
Oh.
MailChimp to ConvertKit when I hit the free maximum amount of people you could have on your list. And then I had tried to do like email sequencing or sequences and stuff for my course with Canva. I mean, not with Canva, with MailChimp. And it was just so hard. And so I switched over to ConvertKit. It's a little more expensive, but I feel like it has a ton of great functionality for email list management and stuff like that. And then also I have ThriveCart for my course to help to manage like affiliates and stuff like that, and the delivery of like I'm affiliate for other courses that I really love, and I create bonuses for those courses if people buy through my affiliate link, and then I can upload my bonuses to that to deliver through the products I'm an affiliate for. So I really love ThriveCart for that kind of management of stuff. That, of course, that's like higher level stuff, but for just someone creating in the beginning basic printable world, I really feel like all you need is the free version of Canva. And then I honestly wish I had in the beginning paid for eRank Pro, because when I first started, eRank was like $20 a month. When you first start, you're like, oh, another thing to buy, I don't know. And then they came out with the eRank Basic, and I bought it for $5.99 a month. And I feel like anyone who starts out in the printables world should definitely get at least eRank Basics, like $5.99 a month, or some kind of SEO keyword search product. You have to buy that on the front end, or it's gonna take you longer to be more successful. So that's, I mean, if you just want to start out and be very basic, then that's all you really need to get started. I'm cheap, and I'm telling you that. I'm not going to tell you spend money if it's not worth it. So trust me, I'm very, very passionate about that.
Yes. No, I like that. And I think folks, especially those starting out or who are already selling and just not yet seeing the revenue they want to, will appreciate that and appreciate the workarounds to having to spend too much out of pocket, especially in the early days.
Yes. I've always been mindful of that. Even now I'm mindful of that. Of anything I buy in my business, just anything, I'm very thoughtful about. I'm like, okay, is this going to bring me return on investment? Is it going to?
Yeah.
What's the timeline? So I'm always very mindful of that.
Yep, that's an important question too. What's the timeline? How soon am I going to start seeing revenue or a return on what I'm investing in?
Yes, for sure. I always ask myself that.
Now I do. 64 courses later, now I do.
Yeah, because all that digital inventory used to be money. So you have to think of it like that. I got to turn the sunk cost investment into money now.
Into money, yes. Not just something, into money. I want my money back.
Yes, you got to earn that money back.
Sasha, do you have an Etsy shop shout out? This can be another seller, maybe one that you especially enjoy shopping at, or someone who has helped you within the Etsy community that you just want to give some love back to.
Okay, one of my favorite people ever of all time is Kevin over at Modern Printable Shop. When I first started, Kevin was an invaluable resource and very inspiring to help me get started. And he's just like so freely giving with his wealth of knowledge. And he does his shop with his wife, and they're just really cute duo, and they're very nice people. I just love his shop. And he does really well with like 45 digital products, printable products. And he has a couple digital planners mixed in, but I think he has like 45 products. he's making really good side hustle money, like passive income on this. And so you're like, that's so inspiring when you first start out. And he had been doing, I think, a year or year and a half when I first started. And I just really looked to him as just that shining star,
Yeah. How did you find him?
And he actually was a contributor to the Gold City Ventures course. He was in the community.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
he's in the community. And so I really just looked up to him as someone that I wanted to not only be inspired by, but also just destroy with sales figures. Because, you're like inspired by someone and then you're like, oh, but now I want to beat them. And so I was just like always wanting to use him as inspiration, but then eventually beat him. And I did, and he didn't care. We know each other. But then
Nice.
another shop I want to shout out to that I don't know this person personally, but I always benchmarked myself against them. And they're the person that I always set my sights on to beat. I'm very competitive if you haven't noticed, but in a
Just a bit,
nice way.
just a bit.
Yeah, I'm very mostly competitive with myself. I want to like constantly push myself to be better. But EVO Printables, they have like 750 products, which to me is just insane because I have like 230 now.
Wait, is that
And
E like Edward, V like Victor, or B like boy?
it's Edward Victor Order Printables, so like EVO Printables. That's the
Okay.
name of their shop.
Okay.
Yeah, and I make more sales than them weekly now, and I have a fraction of the products. And that was always my goal, was to make more sales per day than EVO Printables. And when I started to consistently do it, I'm like, I have made it in the printables world, because they just have so many products. And like you said, it crushes you when you see people selling their printables for like $1, and that's what they do. They sell their products for super low ball prices. And I was like, if I can sell my products for what I feel like are reasonable prices to where I'll be actually making good money, then, and I'm selling more of my products every day than they are, then I feel like I've made it. I've made my dream come true.
Yeah.
That was the person that is one of my favorite shops.
Okay. All
They're
right. So
inspiring.
EVO printables and modern printable shop. I will link to both of those in the show notes. So if you want to go check out Sasha's competition, self identified or self imposed competition.
Yeah, you gotta have those benchmarks,
Yeah.
like.
No, I agree, because sometimes I don't give myself any competition, and I suffer for it, where I know if I just applied myself, like, okay, look at this person, at least try, it would help. So I think it's healthy to do
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
Can I tell you something else?
Sure.
In the time since we started this conversation, you have made 8 sales.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even tracking it.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. Well, thank you for
Yes.
letting me know that.
So
I just picked up my phone on my app and I'm like, awesome.
yes. So there you how do I put it? Good job crushing it, and this is why you're reaching the goals that you set for yourself, and beating and meeting your competition, because I think because you do look at these other people and say, hey, I want to accomplish that, I want to get there. And for me, that's encouraging, and I hope for you listening to this conversation, that you also get encouragement in that, and know that if you just set a goal for yourself and avail yourself of resources that can help you, especially if you're in the digital sphere on Etsy and really struggling. Maybe it's time to pivot the type of product you're selling, sell more high value products, so you can start to make more sales and earn that income that you want to. Yes, it takes a bit more work than a non if you're thinking about doing a fillable PDF, it takes a bit more work, a bit more effort, but you get to charge a bit more for that. So I hope listening to this conversation has just helped to open up your mind to what else is out there and what else you can do. And of course, if you need help, there's coaching too. Sasha will do that as well. I will have links to all of that in the show notes for this episode. Sasha, to close us out, is there any advice that you would give to a veteran seller who, has been at this for a while and maybe is just not hitting their stride or the numbers they want? What would you say to that person?
Oh, I would just say, like I analyze my data, things change. And so a good example is the other day I was looking at my stats on my sales, and I like to sort it by Etsy by stuff that's not getting as much traffic. Mm-hmm. And then I'll go and tweak the keywords, or I'll see, is the pricing too high compared to like a year ago? Who knows what people are expecting to buy this for now? Mm-hmm. Like, don't be afraid to tweak it, because you can always just launch something and then tweak it later. And mm-hmm. I'm constantly tweaking. You just have to be dynamic and flexible mm-hmm. with your business. And mm-hmm. I wouldn't think of it as a failure. I would think of it as an opportunity. I always like to reframe failures as opportunities mm-hmm. to change something up and make it better. So that's my advice.
Okay. Thank you for that. And if anyone wants to connect with you, what's the best way they can do that?
They can do that by emailing me at yourfrugalfriendblog@gmail.com, or they can just reach out to me through my Etsy shop by doing the message seller button. It's another way to reach out to me. Actually, a lot of people reach out to me that way. I looked on eRank because you can sync your Google Analytics data now with eRank to see what people type in the most to get to your shop. Mm-hmm. And the 3 out of 5 top things people type into Etsy to bring them to me is my actual shop name, like all smushed together, or the words are separate. So people are coming to Etsy to email me. So that doesn't shock me or freak me out. I'm used to it. People email me a lot. So
that's how I always find you. I go to Etsy and I smush together your frugal friend.
yeah. So a lot of people will message me straight up through there, and that's perfectly fine with me.
Great. Okay, so I will have Sasha's information in the show notes for this episode, as well as direct links to her Etsy shop, her blog, yourfrugalfriendblog.com, and her Fillable PDF course for anyone who wants to go check them out and connect with Sasha. Sasha, thank you so much for being my guest on the podcast this week.
Well, it was super fun talking to you. I am happy to help anyone any way I can with the information I've given. And it was just really exciting to be interviewed. So thank you for asking me.
You are most welcome. And I thank you for listening to this week's episode of the podcast. I will be back with another episode next time. If you have enjoyed listening to this conversation between Sasha and I have 2 requests for you. One, if you would like to be my guest on the podcast, go to convo.me.com and click on the Be My Guest tab and just fill out the form, and I will get back to you about being my guest on the podcast. It's 100% painless. It's actually a fun conversation, and I would love to have that with you. The second thing is, if you have enjoyed this conversation and you would like to support the podcast, go to convo.me.com/support, and you have a couple of ways you can support the podcast. You can buy me a coffee, or you can choose to become a monthly supporter over there. Again, that's convo.me.com/support. Thanks again for listening, and I will be back next week.